Okay, so welcome to another deep dive, everybody.
Mhm.
We are, today we're going to be cracking open chapter 4
Oh,
of The Dreamer's Journey. Dark
Mm.
turn, subconscious awareness.
it's interesting.
You know, this author, he's recounting this really wild
Yeah.
experience he had about 20 years ago. And the way he tells it, he kind of just accidentally
Yeah.
stumbles into this altered state of consciousness, you know?
Right.
And it's not even just him. Like, he ends up bringing his friends along for the ride too.
Wow.
So for our deep dive today, I think the big questions are,
Yeah.
what exactly happened during this experience,
Yeah.
and what can we learn from it?
Yeah.
About the power of the mind, I guess.
I think that's a great way to frame it. Yeah.
You know, it's
It's so interesting, isn't it, how he describes this altered state as just something he just sort of fell into.
so casual, right?
Yeah, he was hanging out with friends, smoking, letting his mind wander, and then boom, suddenly, he finds himself in this totally different headspace.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, this idea that everyday life can just blur with these really profound
Mhm.
shifts in awareness.
It's like a theme almost.
It really is. You see it in
Yeah.
accounts of mystical experiences across,
Yeah.
all sorts of cultures, all sorts of
Totally. Yeah, it's fascinating.
times and places.
And it wasn't like he was intentionally seeking this out,
Right.
you know, meditating for hours or using
Yeah,
psychedelics.
exactly. Yeah.
He really describes it as almost accidental,
Yeah.
which I think just makes it even more intriguing, you know.
I totally agree.
But then, a little later, he says he started to feel trapped, like scared even.
Really?
He felt stuck, this
Ow.
intense mental state, and he couldn't escape.
That's really frightening.
Yeah.
That feeling of being trapped, it
Yeah.
almost sounds like depersonalization,
Mhm.
where you feel disconnected from yourself and
Yeah.
your surroundings.
Right.
That can be a very unsettling experience.
Oh, absolutely.
But what makes the author's experience
Yeah.
a little different, a little unique, I guess, is that
Yeah.
it wasn't just happening to him.
Right.
He talks about reeling in his friends
Right. Yeah.
one by one
And one.
into this altered state.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he's,
Yeah.
creating a shared reality.
Yeah, it really is. And then they even
exciting.
start communicating in this way that's almost like a secret language.
It's like they've tapped into
It's
some kind of
bizarre.
hidden collective consciousness.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a pretty wild concept to think about.
It really is. And it makes me wonder
Clever.
how common is this shared reality? Is this
I mean,
Oh,
it's
right.
certainly an interesting possibility.
Yeah.
There's this concept called groupthink,
Yeah.
where a group of people, they all come to believe something together.
Right.
It might not even be true.
Yeah.
But it feels real to them because they're all
Yeah.
experiencing it together.
They're all in on it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder
Yeah.
how much of what we even perceive as reality
Right.
is actually shaped by
Okay.
our social environment
Right,
and
so-
our shared beliefs.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point.
But in the author's case, he insists
Yeah.
that this wasn't just
Right.
illusion or
Yeah.
some game.
He says they all genuinely believed
Yeah.
that they were experiencing something really profound.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is, and it's kind of spooky too when you think about
Yeah.
the implications.
Absolutely.
So we've got this accidental altered state.
Right.
We've got this shared reality thing. And then the author mentions something
Yeah.
that's really unsettling.
Oh, okay.
He says that in this state,
Yeah.
he felt like he could control his friends' actions.
Yo, whoa, hold on. That's
I know, right?
that's where things start to get a little out there,
Yeah.
a little freaky.
It's definitely where I started raising my eyebrows a little bit.
Right. I mean, is this sense of control even real?
Yeah.
Or is it just a feeling a
Oh.
side effect
Mm.
of this altered state?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of research out there about
Mhm.
hypnosis and
Yeah.
suggestion
Yeah.
and how people in these highly suggestible states
Mhm.
can be influenced
Yeah.
to act in certain ways.
It's like they're more susceptible, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
So could something similar be at play here?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It really makes you think
It does. It does.
about the power of the mind
That's
and how it can affect others
Yeah.
and be affected by others.
Absolutely. And this whole control aspect, I mean, it really does.
It's a lot to unpack,
Yeah.
for sure.
But then But then there's this turning point in the story
Okay.
where a friend of a friend
Yeah.
gets stuck
Oh, no.
in the altered state.
In the altered state. Oh, wow.
And he starts panicking, totally freaking out.
That's not good.
No, and it seems like that's when the author realizes that maybe he's gotten in over his head.
Right. This is more than just a game.
Right.
It's a really powerful reminder, I think,
Right.
that exploring the mind, even unintentionally, can have unintended consequences.
Absolutely.
The human mind is incredibly powerful, and we're still learning about it.
That's right.
Its full potential, but also its vulnerabilities.
Yeah, there's so much we don't know. And you can really sense the author's guilt about it.
Oh, wow.
Even 20 years later.
Still?
Yeah, he made a choice to stop exploring this mental state.
Yeah.
After that, he realized he might be playing with fire.
Playing with fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
But here's what I find really striking.
Yeah.
He's still thinking about it.
Oh, really?
Questioning it.
Huh.
All these years later.
So it wasn't just some...
Yeah, it wasn't just some weird phase he went through.
Right,
It had a lasting impact on him.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the power of these kinds of experiences to shape who we are.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't just fleeting. It continues to inform his understanding of himself and the world.
Totally. And it raises these profound questions for all of us.
Oh, absolutely.
About, what are the limits of consciousness?
Can we truly influence others' minds?
And is it ethical to even try? Right.
That's a big one, right? I mean, what are the ethical considerations when we explore these uncharted territories within ourselves?
Exactly. And with each other.
Yeah. It's
heavy stuff.
A lot to ponder.
It really is. And this deep dive, I mean,
it's taken us on quite a journey.
It has. We've gone to some wild places today.
We have.
This accidental journey into altered consciousness, this power of shared experience, the potential dangers of mental exploration.
All wrapped up in one story.
Yeah. It's really something.
It really is.
It leaves us with a lot to think about.
It does.
I mean, could the author really control other people's minds?
It's a big question.
Or is there another explanation?
Right. Is there a
more rational explanation? Or is there something more to it? What does this story tell us about the untapped potential?
I mean, maybe even the hidden dangers
of human consciousness. Yeah. It's really...
It's fascinating to consider.
It is,
how much of what we think we know about reality is actually true.
Totally.
And what amazing possibilities might be waiting for us if we could just unlock the full potential
of our minds. Right, but also respecting the power, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But also recognizing the immense power and the responsibility that comes with that.
Yeah, it's not something to be taken lightly.
No, not at all. Wow, so many questions. So much to
think about.
Well, we hope you'll keep pondering these questions long after
this deep dive ends.
Yeah. And keep exploring these ideas.
Until next time.
Keep questioning.
Keep exploring. And keep questioning.
Until next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.